It aimed at engaging India's youth within their cities and encouraging emerging youth leaders to actively shape their course. IIHS began this endeavor in July of this year, and the team reached out to students across the length and breadth of the country. One of the most unique ways in which we reached out to these students was urban cafes. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity for students across the country to actually meet with urban experts in these urban cafes in coffee day with cups of coffee and discuss topics that are burning issues in urban cities. And they really spoke about some very interesting things. Safety of women in metros. They spoke about water. They spoke about transport. They spoke about traffic problems. We got about 171 registrations from 55 different institutions, 20 different cities, 12 states. What the students had to do was to come up with a problem statement, and the problem statement had to have three things. One was clarity of thought, what exactly was the problem, very, very clear understanding of the problem, evidence of the problem, so they would have had to go and research, and awareness of the economic, socio-political, environmental factors. As far as the solution was concerned, they had to be absolutely sure that there was innovation in that solution, considering current, present, and future constraints that would come up. Second was the viability of the solution, the implementation of the solution. And the third thing, that it was to be inclusive and sustainable. So it was extremely interesting for us to have 171 teams, which we had to whittle down. And so we whittled it down to 55, and then we whittled it down to 21. And then these 21 teams were mentored. We had 38 mentors. The mentors were not there to provide solutions. And that was the most interesting thing. They only guided them and focused them in direction of thinking. Most of our mentors came back and said, "Are you going to do this again?" And we said, "Yes. This is something that's going to be there every year. It's here to stay." And so we announced Sankranti 2012. And all the mentors said, "You know what, we're right there with you. We're going to mentor the next set of students as well," because it was such an interesting thing to do for them. The 21 teams that were mentored came on the 18th to the IUC Mysore conference and slugged it out for the semi-final slot of 6 teams that came and presented, and finally 3 teams emerged as winners. The first team called itself ChaloBEST, and that was because it spoke about the best transportation in Mumbai. It has 40 lakh commuters on a daily basis. And they said that it was such an efficient system, except for the fact that there was no software that supported it. There was no information about the bus schedules, there was no information about the trips, there was no information about changes of drivers and so on and so forth. And so they came up with a plan. The entire implementation of the solution is in 3 phases. One is free and open source SMS and mobile applications. 2, launch of a crowdsourced database open to the public with live web pages that would feed every best stop and route. And a social marketing and public media campaign in Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi and English. The second team was the Taramani Thunders. Very interestingly, they called themselves the Taramani Thunders because they were talking about the street hawkers in Chennai, and they said they named themselves Thunder because of the thunder of the street hawkers that shout their wares. Their problem statement was about the street hawkers being given a 3-story building called the Hawker Complex, where they were supposed to hawk their wares, and obviously people had no clue because street hawkers, the entire economy is a seeing economy. You see, you get tempted, you go and sit down, you look at the wares and you buy them. And the larger population is the public that is going to buy from these street hawkers going to T Nagar, Chennai, which is the case in point here. So their solution typically spoke about how they would ban traffic completely from that area. They would have shuttle services from parking that would be created a couple of kilometers away, and they would divide the entire T Nagar shopping area into 3 grids. The third one was Deep Blue, obviously about the sewage groundwater problem in the Noida, toll pond. And their problem was that the effluents and the sewage was creating a completely disastrous situation, ecological and environmental situation in that area. And so their solution was about actually constructing wetlands with different species of plants that would detoxify the sewage and create create clean water, which would then go back into circulation. So the three teams not only got their prize money, but they have also got 3 lakhs grant for each one of them, and IIHS is going to actually help them along with various other stakeholders to implement these plans. And that was something that really appealed both to the mentors and to the students themselves.